So here we are in New York, and the Hearst building. Again, coming to New York to do an environmentally sensitive building is always a challenge, and I'm pleased to say that things are changing rapidly here. I always said to my colleagues quite some years ago that we can't tell the Americans what to do, but boy, when they get it, they'll get it big time, and I think that's actually happening. That the impetus to start creating more sustainable buildings is gathering great momentum in the United States and also in the city. So the Hearst building, I mean, all of these things, LEED, gold building, using recycled building materials. The 95% of the steel used was recycled. We used less steel because of the diagrid structure as well. Use as much as possible of locally manufactured materials, the reuse of the landmark facade. All of these measures contribute to the LEED certificates, and particularly the low emissions materials as well. So it's also about carbon footprint. How much do materials travel to get to a particular site? The use of high performance glazing, internal blinds for glare control, daylight penetration into the building, very important, so that we reduce the amount of electricity used in the building as an interior shot. And then if we go down to the atrium, I remember the first discussions about the air conditioning of the grand space at the base, and again, learning from Commerzbank all those years ago, we said, well, you know, we don't really need to fully air condition the whole space. You know, if we use radiant cooling from the floor to temper that space, we could use the ice fall to also provide some radiant cooling, the waterfall at the base of the building. And we can also use the air from recycle the air from the office footprints as well. Why dump all of that previously conditioned air, brought to the right temperature, the right humidity, dump it to the outside world, when in actual fact we can use that air to refilter it and use it in the grand space that's the collegiate space for the organization. And then in heating mode, that same air can be used because it's at the right temperature and it's being conditioned. And then we just reverse the water flow, water being a far more efficient transporter of energy, both cooling and heat, than air. I mean, the volume of air you need to condition a space compared to using water is quite phenomenal, and hence the adherence in Europe, much more common to use chilled ceiling technologies. It's an internal shot showing the grand space with the Richard Long artwork and the ice fall as you enter into the building. And rainwater collection, low flow fixtures, automatic lavatory faucets. There's quite a reduction in the use of water, which those of you that obviously live in the city will be very familiar with when there are water shortages.